Hello folks, my name is DSG and Darkwatch, and this is going to be a rather lengthy video. I am playing, of course, on one of my favorite servers, the Aussie 2-Fort 24-hour vicious cycle of 2-Fort. And I am playing today as a soldier and also a demo man later on. Right now I am playing the Tank Buster set, or as we would have called it, the Tank Buster set. Now it's just a poly count set. It doesn't do any bonuses. That's right. They finally removed all the bonuses from the poly count set. It's part of the Move That Update update, which the creators of Team Fortress 2 made. From what I can understand, they got tired. I guess they said that Team Fortress 2 was getting too predictable, which I kind of agree, and I have to say I do kind of like the update. The set I'm wearing, the Tank Buster set, instead of giving you a sentry damage resistance, buff resistance, it now just leaves a calling card, which is a monument. Looks like a graveyard. You'll probably see one here a little bit. Just keep watching the ground, you'll see. It leaves a little monument like of their death. Think I didn't look at it now. It shows my hat, the soldier's black box, which I am holding, and the battalion backup on what looks like a gravestone. Now, the update that happened was this. This is what they did. Added additional plus 25% sentry damage resistance to all teammates while banner effect is active. 50% damage reduction while banner is active. Rage is now generated from damage dealt instead of damage received, which in my opinion is the best. The other thing, the weapon I'm using, the black box, the rocket explosions now use the correct sound. Instead, before they used, I think they used the default rocket sound. I guess they finally gave it its own sound, which in my opinion is nice. What do I think of the update as a whole? It's not bad. It could really be better. But honestly, given the circumstances, they're right. Team Fortress 2 is starting to get a little, I guess you could say it's starting to get a little bit predictable, as in, like, we all are starting to expect the game. We've all come to what we call a meta. This is how the game is played, and damn you if you don't play it this way. Excuse me. So these updates have changed that to where, well, this is now how you play, but you can also play like this. One of the biggest updates, and probably one of the most people are gonna like, is the Dead Ringer, I guess you could say nerf? I can't say nerf and I can't say buff. Instead of the Dead Ringer making you 90%, instead of the Dead Ringer just faking your death and making you 90, there's that memorial I was talking about right there, if you didn't see it. And I get wasted. Anyway. Instead of the Dead Ringer just fainting your death and giving you 90% damage reduction, the Dead Ringer now feints your death, 90% damage reduction, but while you're taking damage, it drains faster. Instead of it being a normal drain, the more damage you take, the quicker it'll go down. What does this mean for spies? It means that spies need to use their Dead Ringer instead of aggressively using the Dead Ringer. They really have to stop and use the Dead Ringer as a last resort. Because the more damage you take now, as with a Dead Ringer, the more the quicker it will run out. That's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, honestly. I think it was an alright thing. Because for a long time, the biggest thing, this engineer just walks up to me like, "Hey, what are you doing, pal?" And he calls out spy. For the biggest thing is people would be afraid of Dead Ringers, because Dead Ringers could just walk right up to you. They could take all that damage and still be invisible. Well, now, if a spy feints its death, it really needs to retreat or get by you. Because the longer the spy stays near you with a Dead Ringer, the quicker it's going to run out. So, what does that mean? It means that the Sahara Spy set is now useless. Yes, the Sahara Spy set no longer reduces the cloak sound. Instead, the Sahara Spy set gives you a particle effect around your character when you taunt. It's like a whirlwind-like particle effect, so it's nothing really special. I really wouldn't recommend it myself. But the weapon is the L'étranger, I'm probably saying that wrong, is now really good. I'll show you what I mean. Let me go find it here. Commander, Escape Prank, River Rancher. Sorry, I'm looking at a list here I wrote down of all the item changes. And if you want to see it, the item changes, just go to teamfortress2.com or TF2x, and it is right there under the Updates tab. Anyway, let's see. The Dead Ringer. While under the effect of faint death, damage taken decreases the duration of the effect. Let's see. The L'étranger, I think it's pronounced L'étranger. I'm not sure. Someone please correct me. It says added 40% increased cloak duration, which means while you have the L'étranger, or that fancy French name spy gun, all your cloaks will have an additional 40% duration in their cloak time, meaning you can be cloaked longer. But again, coupled with the Dead Ringer, it's probably not going to be the most effective. I could probably see the L'étranger coupled up with something like the Cloak and Dagger, making it to where you can walk further now than you could before. Another big thing is they finally fixed the Spycicle problem, the bug where it would cause the charge meter not to reset when the spy was killed. Meaning, when you die, your thing doesn't reset and you don't get a knife. Meaning you'd have to either go to the cabinet again or you'd have to wait a while. It's annoying, but still it works. And this is the Demo Man set. I am using the Golf Club, Alibaba's Wee Booties, and the Charge and Targe. The Charge and Targe really received an update as follows. I gotta find it again, I'm sorry. I really should have wrote these down. Let's see, Charge and Targe added Afterburn immunity. What does that mean? It means that if you run into a pyro and they light you on fire, instead of dying from the immediate fire damage, you can survive longer now. You can pretty much just live on and on, as long as you escape the pyro. Because once you get out of the pyro's reach of its flamethrower, the flames no longer stick to you, so you're free, pretty much. You no longer really have to worry about pyros, unless you're like really scared of them. Like right here, he lit me on fire right there, but I'm not on fire. He shoots me again, I'm not on fire. And he's pulled out his extinguisher. He's expecting me to be on fire, but I'm not. And it really throws him off. Unfortunately, I get killed by a mini sentry. Well, there is also a change to the mini sentry as well. How it was where the mini sentry would not, when you shot it, instead of its health no longer going up like a normal sentry, what it would do instead is its health would keep going up and up and up. Now, the moment you shoot it with a rocket, its health doesn't go up anymore. I said screw it, I'm going back to solely. I had been playing demo for a while. My recording messed up and unfortunately it just stopped working. So I decided to play solely. And this guy just like M1s after me, full speed. But yeah, M1. I really have to ask, is that really a way to measure someone's skill now? Is to say, oh look, he's an M1 plus W pyro. I don't think so. I think a pyro who uses the strategy of just running forward at you isn't bad. It's not the worst. It's actually probably one of the better strategies to use because, one, it caused this. That's what happened. The pyro caused me to freak out and I wasted all my rockets. Now, again, I'm using the black box. So the black box does, on hit, the black box gives me plus 15 health back. However, as I've come to find out, if a pyro reflects the rocket back at you, and it hits you or an ally, the pyro gets plus 15 health back. It's like a reverse effect, which is actually pretty nice. It's rewarding the pyro for getting the air blast. I think that should be more of a thing than what it really is. And there's a lot more weapons. I'll get more footage of what they do. Like, one I really want to get now is of the quick fix. The quick fix received a massive buff, and it received it in the form of, where is it? I really need to write these down. Critical up, banner, power jack, whatever. I know it sounds like I'm just muttering to myself, which I really am. Let's see, here it is. Quick fix. Added plus 15% or plus 50% overheal. Uber now affects the medic when there's no heal target. The shotguns with pushback, force of nature, no longer affect players under the quick fix's Uber. I really have to say, the quick fix has received the most updates. Almost like every major update, the quick fix has been a new effect has been added to the quick fix. Before, when it first came out, it let you run as fast as any faster heal target, which is fine. That's great. Now you've got scouts you can chase down as a medic, or anything like that. And then they added the one where the quick fix lets the medic rocket jump with the soldier, which is also fine. That gives the medic another reason to want to go out into battle. And now this, it gives your target plus 50% overheal. That really makes it a very good weapon. The Crusader's crossbow also received an update. It changed the arrow's projectile to a syringe instead of an arrow, which I don't like, and it added a new trail effect, which is barely visible. The reload speed has actually been changed, and they fixed it being able to heal players that are using items that block healing. So you can no longer heal a soldier using holding a equalizer or a escape plan. Which is escape plan also got a massive nerf, which I really have to say makes it to where it's probably no longer even a viable option for battle. It's more like a it's an escape plan. It's not, like I said, not even an option for battle. When you pull it out, from the moment you pull it out to about 3 seconds after you put it away, you're marked for death. Now, what does marked for death mean? Marked for death means that you take mini crit damage while you have this mark on you. In this case, while you're holding the weapon until 3 seconds after you put it away, you will take mini crit damage. Mini crits are 1.5 times damage. So it's whatever the damage is. So we'll say, like, if a full crit is 200, you'll only take 100 damage, which means that the base damage was 50. My best guess is here, Anyway. No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. My bad, I'm really sorry. If a full crit is 200, you'll take 150 damage. I'm really sorry. Anyway, yeah. I'd be stupid. No, I just got out of work and it's like 1:15 in the morning. I'm probably gonna go play a little TF2 after this. But I really have to stress, this update has changed the game from what we knew and what we've expected of the game, what we call the quote-unquote meta of the game. And the meta of the game has definitely changed. The name of the game has changed. Everything about the game has changed from what it was. It's no longer about, running in there with the best weapon. It's now about getting in there and either being defensive or having more options, more weapons with better strategy times. You can do more now than you used to. It's amazing. And again, that guy made me freak out. I don't think there's one time in this, I might be wrong, but there is not one time in this video where I get that buff banner. Which the buff banner now is a viable option. When you get a full buff, you can use it and it makes your whole team resistant, meaning you can survive longer. And it feels so good to be able to keep your team longer and do more damage. I haven't tried the Conqueror, and that was a crit. I haven't tried the Conqueror yet. It also received an update as well. I don't, let's see. I've got it written down here. I'm sorry. Let me go look here. Wrangler, Battalion's Backup, Black Box, Conqueror. The rage is now generated only from damage dealt. Buff players now receive speed boost in addition to previous health on hit effect, which basically means the moment you pop it, everyone's going to be moving faster. Yeah, I got a headless pyro beside me. It took me a moment to realize that was Flare. But yeah, instead of just a healing thing when you hit someone, I think you were healed for like a third or a fourth of the damage, a 30% or 40% of the damage dealt. But instead of just getting this, I guess you could say, this little buff that you get for for hitting them and getting health, now you give them a speed bonus. And instead of it being a little bit of rage when you hit someone and a massive amount when you take it, now it's all based on how much damage you dealt, as opposed to the buff banner, which does both now. It's damage dealt and damage received. I don't think it's quite... Here, I'm taking that. No. Never mind. It's only damage dealt out with the buff banner as well. Or, I was getting ready to change weapons. The Battalion's Backup. I probably called that thing the buff banner this whole time. I am so sorry. I meant to say the Battalion's Backup. But, in a nutshell, this is a really good weapon, and I encourage anyone who hasn't with these weapons to go out and play with them now that it's come time, and the weapons are worth it. It really is worth it now to go out and play with these weapons, because they make the game so much more fun and so much better than they were. It's really, honestly, it's probably one of the better updates that I think the creators of Team Fortress 2 have released. And if you haven't already done it, I'm probably repeating myself right now. I'm sorry. If you haven't already gone and played with these weapons, do so. It's really for the best. This has been DSG and Darkwatch, and I am out.